Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video here on Marvel Strike Force. We're here to talk about Cosmic Crucible because there's some things going on, and I want to share this with you so that you guys can make an informed decision about how you want to change your defenses for room number 1. Now, this was brought to my attention by a handful of people, but had to investigate a little bit to figure out exactly what's going on. And this is by no means an original thought or anything like that. I'm sure other people have spoke about it as well, but I wanted to share this for people who watch my videos and my channels who want to stay more up to date with what's going on in PvP. Now, as everyone knows, I'm not super. I don't take it super seriously, but one thing that I can share you what's going on is that basically it has to do with, actually I don't know why I went out of that, the room rules, right? So glass cannon is supposed to reduce your max health by 90% and give you 100% damage if you have striker, right? Also spawns with 5 death proof. The problem is though is the way the health is calculated. So how this is done is basically that it reduces the health, but all of these bonuses are then being applied afterwards. So this 20% health that is given to all characters is essentially being added after the 90%, meaning that all characters, or I'm pretty sure this is how it's supposed to be anyways, is that it's giving the 20% health afterwards. I think that's the case. I do have to double check that though. I know what I do know is that passives from characters are working. That we can find in game. So this was my Starjammers, and I only had one striker with Howard. So we can take a look at Howard's hit points in game. My Howard right now, I believe, has like 9 million hit points, something like that. I actually applied the unique in recently. So he's somewhere around here. Howard has almost 8.9 million hit points. So that's important, right? Because when we go into the game, we'll see actually how much hit points he actually has. And one thing that you can see on the enemies team is that they were using Mephisto. And Mephisto, I'm pretty sure, has either 20 or 25% in their health passive. Or sorry, in their passive to add health to all allies, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be really important because aside from Gladiator, actually Gore, so Ultimus, Kahori, and Mephisto all have Striker on. So we're going to be able to go into the battle and actually we can take a look at the stats and it'll actually show it properly. Surprisingly, there's actually a really good feature for that. Not the View Teams button, which you can't actually use when you're in a replay, but you can actually hover over the character's nameplate. You're quick about it. So I'm going to have to slow the game down a bit to get into that and show you guys. I'm going to turn this to 1x if it's not. I think it might. It's 2x. But anyways, let's get, can I get Howard? Howard. Okay, so that's Howard. And we can click on the stats button here. You know, my squares are blocking it a little bit here. But you can see that he's at 890,000 hit points. Okay, so the 20% from the room I don't think is actually being added. Or I'm not sure how that's impacting it, to be honest, because that's basically roughly 10% of what he should have. That's 890,005. So that's 6 digits, right? So that's fine. Pretty sure he was at, I said 8.9 million, right? That's pretty much what he was at before. There's some rounding going on a little bit here. But one thing that I want to show you guys is I'm going to try and drag over to Kahori, right? So Kahori should be at very low, right? I mean, this is a pretty big Kahori, I'm pretty sure. Let's go over, can I jump over to her really quick? And she's at 3 diamond, right? G19. I don't know if this is 105. This is at least 100 though, right? So she should be sitting at, I don't know, I want to say at least 8 to 9 million hit points, right? Something like that. I don't remember what mine's at. And you can see, wow, that's interesting, isn't it? Her current hit points, her base is 12 million, 12.4 million, and her current is 6.2 million. So what seems to be working on the enemy side, but not on my side, appears to be a combination of the Mephisto passive and the Room Global Rules bonus, because this is 10%, this is half, right? It's exactly half, so that's a 50%. How did we get to 50%? That's 10% from the, what she should have as a base, plus 20% from Mephisto, plus 20% from the Room. Why is the Room not working on my Howard the Duck on my offense? That I don't know, and I can't answer that. I don't know why it's given to them as the defensive enemy that I'm attacking, and I'm not getting that. So that's kind of fucky and kind of annoying. And you can see the huge damage boost, right, as of the Striker ISO. Although, admittedly, that doesn't even seem like 100% either. So 7.8 times, it should be like, unless someone else is giving damage, I'm not sure. Does Mephisto give that in his passive? Let's double check Mephisto again. So you can see also in his abilities, you can scroll down to his passive here in the details. I'm pretty sure it talks about max health. All allies gain 20% max health. I don't believe anyone gets damage, so I'm not sure why the damage stat on Konhori is kind of weird. But you can see here that he's actually above that, because if I'm not mistaken, he gets more, right? He gets 50%. So he's getting 10% plus 50%. Well, he's actually at 70%. So I don't know where the other ones are coming from. Does Ultimus give anything? He looks to be about, oh, that's his current. Sorry, he got hit. So he was a bit higher than that. So my bad. So he should have been at 80%. So his 50% plus the 10% plus the 20% from the room. So he should have been at 80%, I think, because he got hit. It says current 84% of health. So that was my bad because I got to him a bit late there. So that is accurate there as well. And we'll just double check Ultimus just to be sure here as well. He's at 100%. 10%, it would be 8.5, right? 8.5 million. So 10% of that would be 850K, which means that, he has like, should be 20, 40, 50%. It should be more. Does he have more than that? Does he have something in his? Oh, he does actually. Oh wow. Okay. Okay. I didn't know. Well, non-minion. Kree allies. He gets 20% for himself. Okay. So he's at 20 plus 10 plus 20. So he should be at 50%. I don't know. Maybe he's getting it from somewhere else as well. I mean, maybe. So what my point is here after all of this is that all of the characters that have health percent in their passives are going to apply that, and that will be additive. The way that the order of operations work for the health checkpoints. So characters like Mephisto, characters like, I guess in this case, Ultimus, but he's kind of selfish because he's just giving it to himself. I'm pretty sure he's not giving it to his other allies. I don't know how many characters do this, but I will tell you that it's mostly characters in the pre 2.0 era. So this is going to be typically people that are pre annihilators, with the exception of, I guess, Ultimus and some people who might have like self HP passives. But I'm pretty sure it's just Ultimus. I don't think any of the newer characters after him had that in there. One character that is very meta that does have that is going to be your Hank Pym, because Hank Pym does have an HP passive. And I want to go through on the roster just so that you guys can make this informed decision about how to change your defense in Room 1 if you want to take advantage of this. Now, how long are they going to let this go for? The entire week of Cosmic Crucible? That I don't know. Again, I'm not huge into Cosmic Crucible, but I imagine the other content creators who are probably going to voice their opinions on this, and there might be a change to this. Whether or not there's a stealth fix without them actually acknowledging that, I don't know if that will happen either. I would say this more likely to stay as is because Scopely is lazy, or what they'll do is they'll be like, you know what, we fucked up, and they're going to rerun the Cosmic Crucible tournament again, because remember last time they ran 2 of these Ultimate 32s in 2 weeks because of some other fuck up. I can't even remember what happened then. But let's find Hank Pym, because we were talking about HP passes. Mine is down here. Okay, and he gives, how much does he give? 40%. No, where is it? Down here. 50%. Oh, Illuminati allies. Sorry, not all here, not hero allies. Illuminati allies gained 50% max health. So that's pretty big, right? If you were to shuffle your Odinati to Room 1, then, and if you have any of them strikers, they're going to have 60% health, right? Like, I don't know why, I don't know if that's necessarily a good move, because they don't hit very hard. It's all about Odin, right? He's not giving hero allies health. I thought he did, but he does not. He gives them drain. But if you wanted to move your Odinati into Room 1, you could do that as well. There are other characters that do give them to all allies. I was actually thinking about Nightcrawler. I don't know if people are running Nightcrawler in Room 1, but doesn't he give X-Men allies gain 30% extra health, max health, right? So again, that could be something that if you were using some sort of X-Men hybrid team, or with Old Man Logan as a striker, right? With the extra crazy 100% damage, Old Man Logan would be hitting absolutely hard. But if you could find passives to bump Old Man Logan's hit points up, then that would also help as well for anyone who wanted to run those. That was just one character that came to mind. Some other characters, though, that obviously are more on our radar would include characters like Super Skrull. So Super Scroll, if you wanted to put him onto defense, I mean, this will work on offense too, but I think a lot of people are concerned about how to screw up their opponent, I guess, on defense. So Super Scroll will gives himself 50% max health. So if you make him a striker, he's going to have abnormally higher hit points as a result of that. But he also gains gives allies 25% as well. So that is pretty big, right? So that means everyone is going to have anyone that's a striker is going to automatically have 35% of their base health rather than 10%. So any ways to bump those up? Does Black Knight have it on himself? I mean, you don't want to run on the striker, do you? Like, I don't think that's a good idea. I thought he did. Yeah, he does actually. 50%. Oh, and 40%. So if you hypothetically, if you put Black Knight as a striker who already has on spawn taunt, he would be back up to full, right? He would have 50% and then 40% more on defense. That's 90%. He would be back up to his full 100% and have the striker damage bonuses. Does that influence him that much? I don't know. Maybe you could get it out of this, right? 500% piercing with the damage buff, I think would be pretty brutal if he gets to that skill. That's what I was thinking. But the 30% of this character's max health, that is not influenced by a damage stat. So that is something to keep in mind. But that's pretty interesting. I didn't really think about that. So again, some of these characters that you can use to bump up other characters. I also want to talk, we already talked about Mephisto, right? So Mephisto does give everyone 20%. And I believe you probably don't want to use Apocalypse on defense, but doesn't he give it too? Yeah, he gives all allies 20% and he gains 70. So if he's under striker, maybe even offensively, right? If you're using him on offense in that room, he's going to be basically back up to full as well as a striker. So these are things that you do need to keep in mind, both the personal max health and the all allies max health. One other one that I want to bring up to you guys, because people probably are still using them, is Cabal, but specifically in the leader passive, gives 50% max health to himself, and then he gives in Crucible allies villain specifically 50% max health as well. So again, other ways that you can circumvent this bug or whatever you want to call it, order of operations, by influencing and increasing everyone else's hit points through other characters' passives to kind of make it so that the glass cannon nature of the room is no longer a glass cannon, and you're getting the damage bonuses from Striker. Didn't mean to click on Lizard. That you'll get the damage bonuses from Striker without the side effects, I guess. If you use the right characters on defense, that'll buff your hit points up where it doesn't actually matter. So that's just something I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. This might influence the way that you want to set up your defense. I'm no expert. I'm not going to tell you what the best thing is to do. I've decided to go for some weird wacky thing. I don't even know if it's going to work. Probably won't. But I just thought it'd be funny because I put Thanos endgame with Cabal. Cabal's going to bump up Thanos' hit points at least up to 60% on defense, right? So if they're attacking me, I should get that extra 20 as well. So it would bring him up to 80% of base health. So I'm hoping that with the Striker ISO that he's going to passive and yeet everyone off the field, that they weren't expecting this because of the increased damage and the fact that, his hit points is higher than it should have been. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.